Yes, I don't know na kwaba e over platform we so host na je na woni me abo ni mpu arfo e dey say siam no ka say an Kevin Taylor on so law silence media no say siam no ka say an eja damu a enye fede na yen sensem na so de sanso enfa ma
Odo Kevin Taylor's loud silence TV shutdown. Now everybody knows Kevin Bedu Eko Taylor. He's a very interesting gentleman. He was born on my birthday, the 2nd day of September, several years after I was born. And he started life in Obuasi, moved all the way into the capital, Accra. In fact, he is a journalist by training. And at a point, he told himself that it was time to take his destiny into his own hands. He started what was known as the loud silence media. And when he began it in 2012, he knew it was time for action. Oh, he was able to report very powerful stories. Documentaries were playing even on Al Jazeera from his loud silence media. Then somewhere in 2016, the whole thing went super international. He relocated to America in marriage and beyond. And right after that point, he came with a program called, with all due respect, that was when all Ghanaians got to recognize him and hold him in high esteem. A lot of the things the Ghanaian media tried to hide, he unraveled the mystery behind every single one of them. And he came out so fiercely, right? Fiercely, my brother, my sister, and fearlessly. He gave out the information. He warmed himself into the hearts of many Ghanaians. But of course, politicians shivered. He told us the stories we wanted to hear, and he gave us details devoid of all the fear, the favor, the fanaticism. Yes, fanaticism. That is the word. This is Kevin Bedu Eko Taylor. Kevin Taylor for short. And he is a man who comes with a certain style that many people sit back and say, whoa, this style is unconventional. But for him, as long as the message gets there, it doesn't matter how. The most important thing is get the message across. Oh, he supported John Dramani Mahame's return. He spoke against the NPP that he claimed was his own party. And the NPP was looking for him. Several times he was taken to court. Some of the cases he won, some other cases he lost. And we remember that one against Canada, Japan, which probably was the biggest threat to his career ever. The suit was filed in the United States, his backyard, and he went to court with his lawyers and came out victorious. That was when he had a certain seal of quality on his brand and name. Naysayers began to incline an ear to him and hearken to his whims and caprices, his beck and call. This is Kevin Bedu Eko Taylor. Oh, yes. Many Ghanaians love him. Yes, he ran into several problems. And when the NPP government left, the first thing he did was to come to Ghana because many people said he would never be able to come to Ghana because of the number of toes he stepped on. But he came to Ghana. He went to court. He was victorious in court. Oh, and right after that, he's been coming to Ghana time after time. He's somebody I have a personal relationship with. Once in a while, we talk. My brother, my sister, the day he celebrates his birthday is the same day I celebrate mine. And sometimes we share words of encouragement to each other. This is Kevin Taylor. I chanced upon a video, having heard several times that Kevin Taylor's loud silence TV was shut down. Something that he started arduously from 2012. Shut down after 14 years. What happened? What was the problem? What could have gone under the bridge? And then he himself told us his story. And he told us exactly who was responsible. Watch this. This is to formally announce to you, our cherished viewers and followers, that we are going on an indefinite break. Our resumption date will later be announced. He put this out. My brother, my sister, his channel had to be closed down. Even his TV network closed down. He was paying more than 5,000 American dollars every week for his TV right in Ghana. My brother, my sister, sometimes even more. He made this announcement. Many people were surprised. What happened to Kevin Taylor? Why is he no longer on TV? Then, boom, the orchestrators, yes, orchestrators of this started to talk. Now, one man was fingered. My old brother, Professor Al-Hassan of GBC. He is the boss of the GBC. That is him sitting there. Oh, yes, Professor Al-Hassan was fingered in this. And it looked like he himself confessed to what he did to Loud Silence TV. Let us go straight to Kevin Taylor to listen to him tell us how his TV network was shut down. And I warn you, it's full of expletives and, hard language. Please forgive me. Watch this.
This is the man who was making calls for my platform to be shut down. Such a fool. This fool, on one gasa kan won enum asem say ai na owosrem e na oyesla e na imam bia na onene wo masala chika chen say me ko hwe Kevin Taylor because time aso Kevin Taylor oba be expose the MPP for oba be yes scandal oba be kan okra na kire me imam no na se ne be ye nyina betuma boa etu aban bone no sa campaign way ba Accra. He was worried. He wanted Asla Awusumu to shut me down. This foolish man. How can such a fool, Mr. President, be entertaining such a fool? This guy wish you never became president.
But it should have been more. We have to control it. But direct to home, outside your borders or inside your borders, but it will hit have merged. And when you are home and you are running to now, I will illustrate one example why this conversation matters. About 2 years ago, up in Tamale, after the evening prayers, I engaged the imam in the chat. Then all of a sudden he told me that, it's time for Kevin Taylor. I'm running home. I said, you have Kevin Taylor on your TV? He said, yes. At that time, I could only access Kevin Taylor on the internet. I didn't know that DTH, Kevin Taylor, was entering Ghanaian homes. I went home, scanned my TV, and there it was, free to my house. I came back to Accra, scanned, it was there. And I remember sending a text message and a screenshot to a very important regulator. All he said was, wow. They commissioned the NCA to find a way to stop Kevin Taylor. They tracked him down. Kevin Taylor went to Nigeria and got a satellite company whose footprint covers Ghana, and currently he's broadcasting to Ghana. So, nowhere, you can't get him. Now, I will illustrate one example why this conversation matters. About 2 years ago, up in Tamale, evening prayers, I engaged the imam in the chat. Then all of a sudden he told me that, it's time for Kevin Taylor. I'm running home. I said, you have Kevin Taylor on your TV? He said, yes. At that time, I could only access Kevin Taylor on the internet. I didn't know that DTH, Kevin Taylor, was entering Ghanaian homes. I went home, scanned my TV, and there it was, free to my house. I came back to Accra, scanned, it was there. And I remember sending a text message and a screenshot to a very important regulator. All he said was, wow. They commissioned the NCA to find a way to stop Kevin Taylor. They tracked him down. Kevin Taylor went to Nigeria and got a satellite company whose footprint covers Ghana, and currently he's broadcasting to Ghana. So, nowhere, you can't get him.
This man, that is what he was doing. What was Kevin Taylor doing? Kevin Taylor was exposing the NPP government. This idiot took it upon himself, offered Asla Owusu, and told Asla to shut me down. To get my license to just operate, I spent over $20,000. I was paying $5,000 a month, and I'm still paying to be on multi-TV. I spent $20,000 just to get a license to come and tell Ghanaians that this is what is happening to Ghana. Kwasi came to Accra. He called Asla. He called an operator. He called Asla Owusu. Offer Asla Owusu and you bring Asla Owusu say Asla Owusu should find every means to find how to Ghana. This man, Kwasi today is standing before John Mahama and telling John Mahama, you know what? We want government to pay our debt. John Mahama, please, with all due respect, sack this fool. These are some of the naughtiness that you're not supposed to allow around you. Whoever is lobbying for this fool, you need to sack this guy or to for anything Embra GBC. Even your manifesto launch, this guy instructed them not to cover your manifesto launch. This fool. Today, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was president for 8 years. This man could not look in his eyes to tell him the problems of GBC. And we allow these fools. They draw so much money, big salaries, stupid idiots, and then we give them chance.
Well, Kevin Taylor is noted for explosive utterances. In his opinion, Professor Amin Al-Hassan should be sacked by the President of the Republic. He is the boss of GTV. In fact, the whole of GBC. Radio, TV, online, everything. I've had the opportunity to meet him. We grew up together at Moshizongo in Tamale. And in his own words, he said when he went to Tamale to pray behind a certain imam, right after prayer, the imam was so much in a hurry to go and watch Kevin Taylor. And that shocked him. How can Kevin Taylor be on Ghana TV with such explosive language? And he called one of the regulators to deal with the issue. And according to Kevin Taylor, it was one Esula Owusu he called. And this is Esula. She was the Minister of Communication at the time. And the whole thing was shut down. And when it was shut down, Kevin Taylor had to run to Nigeria to pay the Nigerians to find a way of putting him into the Ghanaian space again. That was how Kevin Taylor was able to return to the airwaves right here in Ghana. Number one, it shows resilience. Number two, it shows a man who is not ready to give up. Now, before we came on the show, I tried to speak with Professor Amin Al-Hassan, and he told me point blank, he is not ready to give any credence to this story. But we had another conversation which we are going to be following up on. And in the next coming days, we will bring you a bigger expose. Did Kevin Taylor get the right information? Did somebody lie to him? Or exactly why did Kevin Taylor get this angry? I have the answers. Come here. It's simple. My brother, my sister, that Kevin Taylor knows how far he has come with his Loud Silence TV from 2012. What he went through. He's a man who has always believed in information, the WikiLeaks style. People must have the information devoid of all the formality and bureaucracies. He's somebody who has challenged the status quo. He is somebody who has decided that, you know what? I don't need all the formality to be able to bring out my message. I will give it to them raw. He doesn't think about ethics when he's on his show. So it is for you to decide if you want that show or not. But in no time, he started catching up with the people. what the media in Ghana couldn't give. He was able to give that raw, no protection. And he became a threat to many. Many took him to court. Some he got hooked, and others he was freed. My brother, my sister, loud silence TV is a delicacy of so many Ghanaians. If an imam in Tamale is so much in a hurry to finish his prayer, to rush and go and watch Kevin Taylor, my brother, then he must be doing something right. Can I bust your bubble right now? Why did Professor Amin Al-Hassan decide to ask the regulators to deal with Kevin Taylor? For him, he felt that Kevin Taylor was not using decorum. He was not using language that was palatable for journalism. He felt that what he was doing was not journalism. It was against the very ethics of journalism.